everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about the Indus Valley civilization and the makeup products that they used at the time. The Indus Valley was home to one of the world's first civilizations over 5,000 years ago and is what we would now think of as modern day Pakistan and northern India. It was one of the first majorly advanced civilizations of the world, and they even had their own sewage system and running water. And surprisingly, I think, most people haven't heard about it. When you think of ancient civilizations, you think of Egypt and potentially Mesopotamia, but not the Indus Valley for some reason, even though they all coexisted at the same time. But unfortunately, to this day, no one has been able to translate the Indus writings, so there is limited information on what I can do my research on for this video. Most of what we do know is either from art or archaeological findings. However, I'm going to try and do this makeup look as accurately as I physically can with my modern products and limited knowledge. So apologies if this is a slightly shorter video than usual, but that's why. But as always, I'm going to do my usual disclaimer too. I'm not an expert. I do these videos purely for fun, so there may be some things that I say that are slightly incorrect. Please feel free to correct me if they are, as long as you do it in a nice manner. If you are condescending in your response at all, I will just delete the comment. But as always, I'm going to start off with some skincare. Skincare in the Indus Valley was of high importance, like a lot of other ancient civilizations. However, the Indus Valley was one of the first ones to really highlight the correlation between the skin looking good and health. They would exfoliate and nourish the skin with masks made from a variety of natural ingredients like chickpea flour, yogurt, milk, honey, rose water, oils, flowers, herbs, sandalwood, and most importantly, turmeric. So I'm going to concoct a little mask of my own using all of these ingredients. Other than sandalwood, I didn't just have that lying around in my house, so you know. I should just put the disclaimer out there: if you're of my skin tone, then don't leave this on your skin for more than 10 minutes or the turmeric will stain your skin, and that does not look good on us, okay? But my skin felt incredible after using this mask, and afterwards I used my Egyptian magic cream as my moisturizer. I'm not trying to compare the two different cultures to each other, but this cream has a lot of natural ingredients in it that were available in Egypt at the time, and Egypt and the Indus Valley would have had a trading relationship at the time, so I figured this was the best moisturizer to use, you know? I also added a layer of some more castor oil after I did this. The people of the Indus Valley really utilized oils in their skin and hair care routines. This would not have been castor oil. Castor oil was around in the world at the time, just not in the Indus Valley specifically. They would have probably used sesame oil for this. However, I did this in my last video about Mesopotamia, and I am not doing that to myself again. However, this is also because they had a good trading relationship with Mesopotamia, which is why they had access to this sesame oil. But for the sake of authenticity, I will always try and make the masks that they used at the time, or use the most like correlating products and ingredients at the time, and I loved this face mask. I'll actually probably do that again at some point. Clay pots filled with fragrant oils and herbal concoctions were discovered from this time, suggesting the use of these elixirs for both skincare and relaxation purposes, and that these elaborate skincare and bathing and grooming rituals were an integral part of their culture. But again, in the Indus Valley, they were one of the first civilizations to take a really holistic approach to beauty, and they also understood the importance of diet for their skin health, not just for aesthetic purposes, but to honor their gods also. To them, it was like, the gods gave you this vessel, you should take care of it for them, you know? Hair care was also deeply intertwined into their culture, including regular oil massages to stimulate hair growth. This ancient practice is still so relevant today. How many times have you seen the clean girls doing like oiled slick backs and showing you their hair oiling routine? If anyone else watches Monica Ravichandran on either TikTok or Instagram, I love her videos so much. She and a lot of South Asian beauty creators have stated for years that the clean girl aesthetic steals from a lot of South Asian traditional beauty practices, and they're right. Don't know why her videos on it stick out in my head so much. I just watch her videos a lot. So this hair oiling practice, and even the slicking back into a bun, dates back to this ancient civilization. The women would either pull their hair back into a low bun, or they would have two braids at the side of their head, which was preferred. And they would adorn their hair with bows, little flowers, little gold clip. Again, this practice was probably not using coconut oil like I use. used. Coconut oil, again, was available in the world at the time, just not in the Indus Valley. Again, this was either probably sesame oil or ghee that they used to do this. Eyeshadow at the time was made from a substance called terra verte, aka green earth, which was found at Mohenjo-Daro, one of the major cities of the Indus Valley. This eyeshadow would have been used around 2500 BC, and like in the name, was an earthy green colour that was mixed with either water, oil or animal fat to be applied. This pigment was actually fairly transparent and allowed them to add subtle washes of colour to the eyes. It wasn't so vibrant and in your face. When you think of ancient makeup, you think of like ancient Egyptians. They had the vibrant eyeshadow. Indus Valley, it was a bit more subtle, you know? And there are several theories as to why the ancient people of the Indus Valley wore this in particular as eyeshadow, and it's more than likely to prevent infections. However, it may have also had some kind of spiritual or ritualistic purposes to it as well. This pigment was actually widely used in a lot of medieval paintings as a skin undercolour, as when used in underpainting, it really complements the peach colours of the skin. Eyeliner was made from either coal or a substance called lamp black, aka soot. Like a lot of other ancient civilizations that used coal, this was probably for protective purposes as well. Coal has been widely used all over the world to keep sand, glare from the sun and infections out of your eye, and they would apply this coal with bronze or ivory toothpick shaped applicators, and the containers they kept this in were made from bronze, silver, terracotta and sometimes stone, found in Mohenjo-Daro. And if you look at statues from this time period, the shape is very like cat eye, but it's quite like short at the outer corner and like squared off a little bit, so I kind of tried to follow that today. And I'm assuming that this is what they also used in the eyebrows, and again I tried to follow the shape in a lot of art and statues from the time. It's quite thin and like long at the end. Now, there is no conclusive evidence of what pigment was used on the cheeks and the lips. However, there is evidence that the women of the Indus Valley in 3000 BC did paint their lips red. It's very possible that this pigment was red ochre, as this was widely used in a lot of ancient civilizations to colour the cheeks and lips. However, again, there is no absolute concrete evidence of what this pigment actually was. However, traces of cinnabar, an ore of mercury used to make face paints, sindoor and lipstick, among other things, however, have also been found in the Indus Valley civilization site, leading archaeologists to speculate that this may have also been the pigment that was used. Traces of this pigment were also found in the hairlines of ancient Indus Valley women, suggesting that the sindoor practice was still prevalent during the Harappan civilization. Sindoor is still practiced to this day by married Hindu women, and its origins not only trace back to the Indus Valley civilization, it goes even further back than that, to the Neolithic Stone Age period. The tradition is deeply rooted in Hindu mythology and scriptures, where it symbolises marital status and the wife's devotion to her husband, and the presence of items like ivory combs, bronze mirrors, and various other cosmetic applicators made from bronze, copper and silver further support the idea that this was a civilization that really valued their grooming and beauty practices. A cosmetic kit with copper tools such as an ear scoop, piercer, razors and tweezers were found in both Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Over 12 such kits were also found in cohabitating civilizations such as Kish in Iraq and Ur in Mesopotamia, and this could be the result of this trading relationship that I mentioned that prevailed between all civilizations. But the Indus Valley civilization is one of the oldest in human history, and all of their beauty practices are still so relevant to this day. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed filming it. I love learning about other cultures and their history and what beauty products they used at the time. As always, I'm going to leave a playlist of every single one of these videos that I've done before down in the description, along with a little list of the products that are used. Please comment down below what time period you would like to see next. I've said before I'm going to try and go in semi-chronological order for this, so I might do either ancient Rome or ancient Greece next. Haven't decided. You let me know, you know. Yes, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next makeup history video too.